So how's it going? Django here again. Driving onto some switchback road again, heading to work. Just another normal day in the middle of nowhere on the Pacific Ocean. So I recently had to pull the headliner out of my car. Yeah, the sun's been beating down on the car for about, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. The paint's really scorched on the top, but the headliner glue just eventually gave out. I mean, it's like a hot bath above that headliner and the black roof. I mean, I'm surprised the whole thing just didn't ignite. But yeah, the headliner fell. It was starting to rub on my head every time I drove anywhere. I could barely see out the back. And I wanted to glue it back, but there's just like powder glue everywhere. Glue ain't gonna stick to powder. I mean, that's just bogus. So I unscrewed everything and I pulled the headliner out of the car. Now I have this nice brand new shiny roof looking at me. Also, I got a couple of ballistic airbags staring me down. Some type of explosive device. I'm gonna have to take those out because those are just unsightly. But I'm liking looking at the roof. There's all kinds of options now. I could just make all kinds of stuff up there, little shelves and anything that I could really use in the car. You know, I could even put a shelf up for some coffee cups or a toaster. That's what I'm thinking of doing. My car is really getting beaten up out here in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, where the sun shines at about 20 degrees north latitude. It's got low miles, 78,000. It's doing pretty well. So I think I'm gonna just trick it out. You know, just customize it inside and make all kinds of stuff for it. Keep it running. I mean, who else is gonna want to buy it? It's a Maui Cruiser now. I'm gonna make it a real cruiser with stuff inside. And I'm looking at the stuff and the gauges, and I got this check engine light that's been on, and an ABS sensor, and a sliding car, and that's all because one little sensor ain't working on the right side. One little sensor, it's like a rotation sensor for the anti-lock brakes, and it's just like, tripping out. And so it sends a little signal over a CAN bus to the computer, and the computer says, "Whoa, this sensor ain't good. Check engine light on, ABS on, slippery car on." It's all because of this little sensor. You gotta get that little sensor and pull its little brain out, or replace it. But I haven't, so I'm looking at these 3 lights all the time, constantly. I can reset them, but sure enough, they're back in a minute or so. That CAN bus is so dang reliable. Can't get anything past it. And then the gas gauge, they try to be universal without using, empty and full, the English letters. So they have like a 0 for empty. So that's, I can deal with that. 0's good. Means empty. Universal language of mathematics. And then there's nothing at the quarter mark. That's okay. We can deal with that. And then in the middle, like at noontime on the dial, it's like half full. So it's 1/2. 1/2. Yeah, I can deal with that. You might have had to remind me, that it was 1/2 after there was no 1/4. and you come around to 3/4, and there's no 3/4 either. So I got to do some math. I got to realize that after half full, when it's midway between half and full, it would be 3/4. But they're not going to tell me 3/4. They're just going to leave it blank. And this is the real kicker, because, you know, I was all warming up to 0, being empty. I can deal with that, you know. But they get over to full, and instead of putting 1, like, you know, full, 0 is empty, and 1 is like, you know, 1 full, they put 1/1. Yeah, 1/1. How did that get past engineering? I mean, 1/1, let's reduce that, buddy, to 1. You don't have to tell me that 1 is over 1. I mean, I know it's 1. Why did you even waste the time? I mean, the 0 is on the other side, nice single number 0. And on the right side, you got 1 divided by 1. I mean, that is lame. I just can't believe that gauge is like that. I mean, it must have gone through some review cycles. People must have, you know, done the artwork and everything. And all of a sudden, you know, someone says, yeah, 0, 1/2, 1/1. Oh, 1/1, that's good. Yeah, that looks like full to me. 1 would have been just fine. Hell, I wouldn't even needed any numbers. I mean, there's only a few gradient points anyway. So I just... Man, that 1/1 is just troubling. It's stuff like that that just irks me, you know? But it's okay. I'm living on an island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and, you know, you can't really go wrong with that. Unless, of course, the ship doesn't show up with food, fresh water. I mean, of course, I could eat avocados and mangoes for the rest of my life, and any greens that I could grow. But I need my English muffins. And I don't know where they come from, Pennsylvania or Minnesota or something like that. And I'm really looking forward to those English muffins. And then the butter, man, it comes from Ireland. I am like hooked on that Kerrygold butter. Man, that is good. Kerrygold butter. Let's just leave it at that. I'm at the end of Haile Miley again, entering onto Haleakala Highway, going south on some lava flow. That's my story for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll pick up, you know, where I left off, or where I will be leaving off one of these days.